Hey, what's up, guys? Music Box Pete back with another vinyl vid. On today's episode, it's gonna be a little special theme. We're actually going back to the '90s. Gonna check out three vinyls from the '90s from three different bands. Actually, some from my childhood that I remember quite well, actually. So we're just gonna go through each vinyl and just sort of delve deep into it. So let's start things off right away with Weezer's "The Blue" album right here. So here you go. This is pretty much the album that started all for me. I mean, just all the songs on it are pretty much indicative of just of Weezer, the whole band, the whole alternative genre, pretty much. I mean, My Name is Jonas, Buddy Holly, of course, with that great video that sort of did the little spoof of Happy Days and sort of intertwined scenes from that, and sort of it was nice to sort of see it blend worlds together. Also, it was just such a great video. Of course, Say It Ain't So. Undone, the Sweater Song, The World Has Turned and Left Me Here. I mean, the whole album is just an absolute complete masterpiece. But, I mean, you can, criticize Weezer for all you want, for all the material they released after that. Nothing is ever going to be better than this. Nothing is ever going to transcend the Blue Album. Just literally everything what Rivers Cuomo was able to do. Brilliant songwriter, and of course he's worked with some more recently with some other great bands as well too. But this is pretty much the one that started it all. Of course, with the Colors theme albums. Of course, they released other ones. They did a Green album. Of course, they did the Red album. This is probably the best one in the bunch too. I mean, many will say like Pinkerton, of course, as much as that was critically reviled, but then grew to be later appreciated as years went along. But Weezer's "The Blue" album, just phenomenal album inside and out. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Just literally everything about it is phenomenal in every way. And just, so many memories of listening to it back when I was around, came out in '94. I think it was 9 years old around that time. And just, listening to the whole album, back and forth, it just really brings back so many great memories, too. I think really with the '90s, I think a lot of people agree with me here. It's just that the music back then was just so much more transcended back then. Of course, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains. You can have me forever listing names here, but Weezer was always the one that sort of started all. I think it sort of laid the foundation of all the music that I grew to listen to in my later years and sort of get an appreciation for that. But the whole vinyl is just absolutely phenomenal. Got this for $15 at Newbury Comics, actually, because they had the 25% off sale. So, I mean, a really phenomenal deal. You can't beat, $15 at Newbury Comics. That's actually kind of rare, just because Newbury Comics tends to have higher vinyl prices than some of the other stores and some of the other, like thrift shops or some of the other smaller chains like Cheapo Records in Cambridge, which is highly recommended to go there. But, to get this here for $15, pretty good steal, I'd say. So, next up on the list right here, we have The Offspring Smash. I mean, between this album and just everything else out here you go. I mean, with The Offspring, I mean, this pretty much, set the bar. It really did. I mean, with Dexter Holland and everybody, I mean, just literally with this album, I just remember listening to this because my brothers used to have a Columbia House record membership thing. I think it was used to be with BMG and then Columbia House, but I remember listening to this album on that, and I was just absolutely blown away by it. Just literally every single song in the album just has that sort of punk aesthetic to it, sort of similar to Green Day, by just The Offspring. Just this was the biggest selling independent album, I believe, upon release. But of course, with Gotta Get Away, Self Esteem, literally every song on that, it literally just absolutely, I would say in this sense changed my life pretty much too. Just it sort of sent that clear message about music just about the time around '94 and all this great music. It seemed right around '94, just all those great bands are coming out. Of course, Green Day, Smashing Pumpkins, 311, just literally everybody was coming out with something awesome. But I think with The Offspring was really able to tap into the spirit of the youth right here. So just literally an absolute phenomenal vinyl from start to finish. It just really has that raw punk energy to it. Of course, some of The Offspring's later albums, of course, Americana, probably gonna be my second best album, after Smash. And I mean, everything after it will come close, but it'll never match or completely duplicate the energy and raw feel that Smash had. The Offspring, just an absolutely phenomenal band inside and out. They just literally just really hit the ground running right from the start. Still are an influential band to this day. Still together, and they're still doing things right then and there. Of course, Dexter Holland's a pretty smart guy as well, too. I think he got like a master's in chemical engineering or something. Can't remember exactly what he was, but I guess he had like a thesis on it that he was able to finish up somewhere out in college out in California. 20. I can't remember which one. All right, so last final lookout right here is probably the biggest of the bunch, to a band that I just mentioned, Green Day's Dookie. So here you go. I mean, this album pretty much speaks for itself. I mean, you could cite the Offspring as sort of the real starters of this whole punk thing, but Green Day pretty much really were the fathers of the whole thing. I mean, if you were growing up at all in the 90s, there was literally no escaping this album whatsoever. There was literally nowhere you can avoid but listening to Basket Case, Longview, Welcome to Paradise, She, When I Come Around. Just literally one great song after another, and just literally just really set the bar for them and really shot them to superstardom right away. Of course, they played at Woodstock back in '94, and also there's a more infamous show that happened here locally. The FNX sponsored show was the Back to School show in September of that year. And just literally, I think it got shut down within 20 minutes. And they talk about this in the FNX documentary. Just I think almost 100,000 people showed up there. Just literally were so many people. There's just literally just so much pandemonium there. Just almost, I mean, things, it wasn't like a riot or sense, but things got intense though. Just literally with so many people. There was people acting up in the show. There was a few, fracases or a few, little tussles here and there. But literally, with Green Day and just with all the people and with all the energy it sort of brings about it, it just really was captured quite well in this album too. And just literally the punk essence of them just really emanates so strongly from them. Just really is the core of the band that just really exploded on the scene. It was just, there was no escaping this album at all. I mean, literally everybody I know, all my friends at least had a copy of this album. And to have it here on vinyl really makes it all the more special. So, I mean, and of course I saw Green Day in concert back in 2005, September of 2005 actually, at Gillette Stadium actually. Absolutely phenomenal show. They really still have it after 20 plus years. And literally with Dookie, I mean, just with all the other bands that sort of are currently in the scene right now, really owe a great deal of existence to Green Day into this album for really inspiring them and really, establishing their credibility and their fan base that sort of took off. I mean, some were, there was a behind the music special years ago where a lot of their older fans, of course, they got started in the Bay Area, sort of abandoned them when they went on to a major label. It's sort of like abandoning us, and there's all this sort of mismatch back there. But that happens a lot. Screw them and the horses they rode in on. Green Day really started off for them. So literally phenomenal album inside and out. Probably one of the top albums in the 90s. I mean, you could say Nirvana's Nevermind, but Green Day's Dookie for me sort of started the whole thing here. And all three of these albums, in particular, sort of fostered an essence. Just really allowed me to get into music pretty much. So I mean, three really important albums. I think all of you would agree, especially now that it's captured here on vinyl. I mean, just really revisiting the energy and spirit of the youth that really just made life worth living. So that wraps it up for today's vinyl vid. I'll be posting more vids definitely in the new year. So hope to do them on a regular basis. See what the reaction is, and we'll sort of move from there. So thanks for tuning in. See ya.